Just hours before Elon Musk was set to stand beside President Donald Trump in the White House, the internet exploded. A bombshell report from the New York Times shattered the carefully staged farewell. Allegations of heavy drug use, accusations of ketamine overdosing, bladder issues, and a billionaire carrying a pillbox across the country while supposedly cutting government costs. Elon Musk, once seen as Trump's tech savior, was suddenly the headline for all the wrong reasons. But this wasn't just about drugs. This was about power, secrecy, and a final White House photo op that turned into a scandal overnight. So what really happened behind closed doors? Why did Musk fall out with Trump, despite being his biggest campaign donor? And was this exit engineered, or was it the consequence of something far darker? Stay with us, because what you're about to hear might just change how you see Elon Musk forever. Before the scandal, Elon Musk's entrance into Trump's administration felt like something out of a political thriller. The richest man on earth, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, suddenly walking through the gates of the White House not as a visitor, but as a federal official. Trump didn't just bring Musk in for show. He gave him a title with teeth. Head of the Department of Government Efficiency, nicknamed DOGE. In a wink to Musk's crypto obsession, Musk was handed a mandate to slash waste, cut spending, and disrupt Washington. And at first, it worked, at least on paper. With cameras rolling, Musk wielded a chainsaw on stage at a conservative event, vowing to gut $2 trillion in bloated bureaucracy. He even joked that it would be easier than debugging Twitter. Behind the scenes, it was chaos. Entire departments vanished. USAID wiped out. Tens of thousands of federal workers lost their jobs. Foreign aid disappeared overnight. Critics called it reckless. Supporters called it revolutionary. But while Trump praised Musk as terrific in the future, cracks were already forming. And what came next would show just how fragile their alliance really was. But the real unraveling, it didn't start in the Oval Office. It started with a pill. At first, no one really noticed. Musk was always eccentric. His late-night tweets, strange interviews, and cryptic behavior had become part of the brand. But insiders started noticing something off. He wasn't just tired. He was jittery, distracted, sometimes incoherent behind closed doors. Then came the whispers. People close to the administration claimed he never traveled without a pillbox packed with substances that raised eyebrows: ketamine, ecstasy, mushrooms. One staffer reportedly joked that Musk's luggage was part pharmacy, part Burning Man survival kit. Then it stopped being funny. According to the New York Times, Musk told people he developed bladder issues from using too much ketamine on the 2024 campaign trail, a side effect of chronic use, and a serious red flag. Rumors spread like wildfire was a man slashing government programs, doing it all under the influence. The White House downplayed it, of course. Trump's deputy Stephen Miller brushed it off, saying the real drug crisis was at the southern border. But behind the scenes, staff were worried, and questions started piling up fast. Was Musk really making billion-dollar decisions? While high? And what did Trump actually know? Behind the cameras and bold speeches, things were falling apart. Inside the White House, Musk's presence had gone from refreshing disruptor to unpredictable liability. Staffers described late-night meetings where he'd go off on tangents, ranting about AI conspiracies, Martian colonies, and dismantling the IRS all in one breath. Some called it genius. Others weren't so sure. One insider claimed he once walked into a policy session to find Musk sketching rocket diagrams on the wall during a budget discussion. But the real issue wasn't just the chaos. It was the clashing ideologies. Musk's self-proclaimed mission to slash $2 trillion in waste quickly ran into resistance. His Department of Government Efficiency, nicknamed DOGE, had gutted departments like USAID and left thousands jobless. Some Republicans cheered. Others were furious. And while Musk boasted about massive savings, independent audits told a different story. The so-called $2 trillion cuts? Closer to $2 billion, according to The Atlantic. It didn't help that Tesla was tanking back home. Shareholders were begging him to return, and protesters were circling Tesla factories with signs reading "Musk, pick a lane." Even allies in the administration began to distance themselves. One cabinet member was overheard saying, "He's not running a government, he's playing SimCity on hard mode." And still, Trump stood by him. At least, in public. But even that loyalty would soon be tested because Musk wasn't done speaking his mind. By week 12, the cracks were no longer behind closed doors, they were front and center. In a now infamous interview just days before his White House exit, Musk didn't hold back. Sitting across from a stunned conservative host, he casually criticized Trump's mega tax and spend bill, calling it betrayal of everything we came here to fix. He didn't stop there. He questioned the competence of several cabinet officials, claimed the deep state is very real, and suggested that half of Washington should be automated out of existence. The clip went viral in minutes. Trump's inner circle, not amused. One senior advisor reportedly warned, "You don't go on national TV and call your boss sellout, not unless you want the door to hit you on the way out." But Musk wasn't worried. He believed the public was on his side. He pointed to polls showing rising support among libertarians and younger conservatives. He even tweeted, "The system is rigged. I came to fix it. They came to protect it." The backlash was immediate. Late-night hosts roasted him. Economists debunked his claims. Even some Trump loyalists began to whisper, maybe Elon's lost a plot. And all this just days before his final press conference with Trump. But as the media swarmed and tensions reached a boiling point, another story broke, one that would blow everything wide open. Just when it seemed things couldn't spiral any further, the New York Times dropped a bombshell. Hours before Musk was scheduled to stand beside Trump in the Oval Office one final time, headlines exploded. Musk's alleged drug use under scrutiny amid bladder issues, internal concerns. The timing was brutal. The optics? Worse. The report claimed Musk had used ketamine so heavily during his White House stint that it caused bladder problems, a known side effect of long-term use. But it didn't stop there. The article alleged Musk had taken ecstasy, mushrooms, and carried a personal pill box throughout official duties. Though it stopped short of confirming if he was under the influence while working in government, concerns from insiders had reportedly grown louder behind scenes. The public was stunned. Social media lit up with hashtags, #Musk meltdown, #White House whiplash, and even #DOGE down. Inside the administration, panic mode set in. When pressed by reporters, Trump's deputy chief of staff, Stephen Miller, tried to dodge the firestorm. The drugs we're focused on are the ones flooding across the southern border. But that wasn't enough. CNN pushed further. Was Musk ever drug tested while working in government? Miller's response? You'll have the opportunity to ask Elon all the questions you want today yourself. That was a red flag.
Because for the first time, Musk wasn't answering tweets. He wasn't posting memes. He was silent, and for Elon, that silence was deafening. And with the press conference looming, the question hanging over Washington was no longer, what did Musk cut from a budget? It was he high while doing it? 1:30 p.m. Oval Office. Cameras rolling. This was supposed to be Musk's triumphant farewell, a moment to celebrate his radical reforms, his tech-fueled ambition, his role as Trump's right-hand disruptor. Instead, it was chaos in slow motion. From the moment Elon stepped into the room, something felt off. His usual swagger was gone. The man who once walked through Washington with a chainsaw metaphorically in hand now looked subdued, guarded, twitchy, even. Trump kicked things off, calling Musk terrific and insisting this wasn't goodbye. This will be his last day, Trump said with his trademark grin. But not really, because he will always be with us, helping all the way. But when the spotlight turned to Musk, the performance faltered. His responses were rambling, half-formed, and at times eerily disconnected from the questions asked. When grilled about the New York Times report, he gave a rehearsed line about mental wellness treatments and quickly pivoted to AI regulation, a deflection that didn't land. And the press? They weren't letting it slide. Multiple reporters pressed him about his ketamine use, his pill box, and whether he had ever taken substances during official duties. One even asked if the public had been misled about his fitness for office. Musk's only real response? I do what I need to stay productive. What matters is the results. But that was a problem. The results didn't match the hype. The so-called $2 trillion in cuts he once promised? Independent trackers estimated the real savings were closer to just $2 billion. DOGE's aggressive slash-and-burn tactics had left government agencies in disarray, while key services like foreign aid had been gutted entirely. And Musk's own businesses weren't doing any better. Tesla's stock was plunging. SpaceX was facing technical failures. Protests had erupted outside both headquarters. By the time the press conference ended, the narrative had shifted completely. What was meant to be a victory lap had turned into a televised unraveling. And just when it seemed like the fallout had peaked, one more shock was still on its way. In the hours after that awkward Oval Office appearance, headlines exploded across every major news outlet. But it wasn't just about the drug rumors anymore. It was about what Musk left behind. Within days, a classified internal memo from the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE leaked online. The contents? Startling. According to the memo, Musk had allegedly authorized the deletion of entire regulatory databases, gutted digital security protocols, and fast-track deals benefiting companies suspiciously close to his own. The memo hinted that oversight was virtually non-existent, and that was by design. Even more damning, several former DOGE employees
tonight, President Trump giving an Oval Office farewell for Elon Musk, the world's richest man now stepping away from his role as a special government employee, slashing federal agencies and firing thousands of government workers.
Elon gave an incredible service. Nobody like him, and he had to go through the slings and the arrows.
It was looking like a national security concern.
He's an incredible patriot.
Musk says he will continue to serve as an unofficial advisor to the president. Musk now acknowledging his job was an uphill battle, and in the end, not coming close to the $2 trillion in savings he originally promised.
So I think the DOGE team is doing an incredible job. They're going to continue doing an incredible job.
His departure comes after he broke with the president over his budget bill and the level of spending in it. Some estimate it could add $3.8 trillion to the deficit over the next 10 years, with cuts to Medicaid and food assistance programs. This is what Musk said about the president's One Big Beautiful Bill.
I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, which increases the budget deficit, not just decreases it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing.
At a town hall in Iowa, Republican Senator Joni Ernst, the latest lawmaker to face outrage over the cuts. She was asked about Medicaid, some in the crowd saying people will die. Her response, making news.
People are not,
no one knew.
well, we
what
all
was
are
clear?
going to die.
Elon Musk, if anything, it was about
on immigration tonight,
today we had just a couple of hours ago, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court, thank goodness, that was very important.
Moment in the room today when Elon Musk was asked about his black eye. He said that he was horsing around with his 5-year-old son and told him to go ahead and punch him in the face.
Did Musk's drug use and erratic behavior undermine his ability to lead? Or was it part of the genius that fueled his vision? As Musk retreats behind his cryptic messages and silent screens, many wonder what this means for the future, not just for him, but for the tech titans increasingly stepping into political power. One thing is clear. The line between visionary leadership and dangerous unpredictability has never been thinner. And as governments worldwide watch and learn from Musk's controversial approach, the question remains, are we ready for leaders who live on the edge, pushing boundaries with no clear roadmap? Or will Musk's story become a cautionary tale about the cost of unchecked ambition? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: this chapter of American politics has been unlike any other, and the ripples will be felt for years to come. So, what do you think? Is Elon Musk a misunderstood pioneer or a warning sign for the future? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. With Musk's exit from the White House, questions about his next move swirl fiercely. Will he double down on his sprawling empire, focusing on Tesla and SpaceX like never before? Or is there a new political chapter waiting just beyond the horizon? Rumors suggest Musk might be gearing up for something even bigger, maybe a surprise announcement, a new tech breakthrough, or even a deeper plunge into political influence through less visible channels. One thing's for sure, the drama isn't over. Musk's ability to shape the future, whether through rockets, electric cars, or political firestorms, means we're far from seeing the last headline. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, keep watching, because when it comes to Elon Musk, the next twist could be just around the corner. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update on this evolving story.